How are you feeling today? There is something happening quietly yet powerfully across the world. Something no one puts into words, but men everywhere can feel it. It is as if they are opening their eyes after a long, blurry sleep, and suddenly, everything that once confused them, hurt them, exhausted them, becomes frighteningly clear. Strangely, this awakening does not happen through shouting, not after explosive arguments, but begins very softly, very quietly, with the moment only they themselves can hear. A sigh, a brief pause, a very deep sensation in the chest, as if their soul has just whispered, "Hey, that's enough." Have you ever felt that way? The feeling of standing in front of someone you love deeply, yet in their eyes, you no longer see yourself. The feeling of giving so much, but what you receive in return is only doubt, criticism, or cold silence. Or the moment you look back at yourself and suddenly realize you have tried so hard that you lost your voice, your emotions, and your own worth. No one says it out loud, but millions of men are experiencing the exact same thing, at the same time, in the same moment, with the same kind of wound. And what startles them most is not the pain, but the realization that their stories are eerily similar. The same behavioral patterns, the same conflicts, the same wounds, the same accusations. A man in America, a man in the Philippines, a man in Europe, a man in Vietnam, unfamiliar with each other, different backgrounds, different cultures, yet they are being hurt in the same way. That is when they understand, I'm not imagining things, I'm not crazy, and this truth, I'm not the only one who sees it. The awakening begins there. From the moment men look back at their lives and see something clearly that they once tried not to see, there is something in modern relationships that is becoming dangerously misaligned. And in the next part, we will touch on the first thing men around the world are recognizing, a truth they were once forced to ignore. Standards are sky high, but real value lies underground. Stay here, because this is only the first door opening. When men begin to awaken, the first thing they notice is a truth so simple it is surprising. The standards many women set no longer have anything to do with reality. The interesting part is that men do not oppose high standards. They understand value, effort, and the desire for something good, but they are shocked by a paradox. Some people demand a value they themselves do not carry. An unemployed woman can demand a man who earns 6 figures. Someone who constantly breaks promises demands absolute loyalty. Someone who easily loses her temper demands monk-like calmness. Someone who has never healed her own wounds demands a man to be emotionally mature. Men hear these things not with irritation, but with a quiet question echoing inside. What is it you want? Something I can give you, or something you've never given yourself? A client once sent me his ex-girlfriend's dating profile. The list of requirements was as long as an endless bill. Must be 6'2", must make $150,000 a year, no kids, must own a house, must go to the gym, must always be patient, must be emotionally rich but not weak. And then he went silent, because her reality was the complete opposite. Unemployed, living with her parents, 2 children from 2 different men, and had not improved herself in years. The painful part is not the difference, but the belief that she deserves everything without trying for anything. Men see these things every day, not because they nitpick, but because it repeats too many times, in too many stories to the point they cannot deny it. But perhaps the thing that awakens them most is this: expectations keep rising, but contribution keeps shrinking. Standards keep growing, but responsibility keeps decreasing. Men begin to ask, why has love become an interview where only I am evaluated? That question is not bitter. It is simply accurate. And once this truth becomes clear, a new door opens in their mind. This is not the issue of one woman. This is a trend, a widespread pattern in modern dating. But mismatched standards are only the surface. Behind them is a deeper, more complex, more damaging psychological mechanism. In the next part, we will explore the second truth, something even more frightening. Even when they are wrong, they are still the victim in their own story. And this is where many men begin to lose their voice. There is a truth men only realize after going through enough pain. Even when some women make mistakes, they can still become the victim of their own story, and this leaves men confused, even doubting themselves. Do you know that feeling? When you are betrayed, but in the end, you are the one who must apologize. When you are the one enduring, but in the end, you are treated as the culprit. When you stay as calm as possible, but in the end, you are accused of not being understanding enough. Why does this happen? Psychology calls this projection, projecting one's fears and faults onto someone else. When someone cannot face their own wrongdoing, they unconsciously create a story in which they are the ones who are hurt, and men, because of their instinct to protect, their habit of enduring, their fear of hurting the person they love, often accept that story without resisting. A woman cheats, but cries and says, "You didn't make me feel loved," and the man, with a heart full of responsibility, blames himself. A woman gets angry, breaks things, insults him, and says, "I act this way because you don't make me feel safe." And the man, just trying to keep peace, stays silent and endures. There are viral videos, stories that seem absurd yet happen every day. A girl admits to sleeping with 3 other men, but goes online crying that her boyfriend doesn't know how to fight for love. And what hurts men is not her words, but the thousands of comments below supporting her, as if truth no longer matters, as if crying, saying a few emotional lines, erases all wrongdoing. Men look at that and ask themselves, so what about the truth? What about my pain? But they do not speak up, because they know if they do, they will be labeled toxic, weak, or even accused of reverse gaslighting. In those moments, men begin to learn silence, not because they are guilty, but because they feel their voice no longer has value. And this is the most dangerous part, when men are pushed into the villain role in a story where they are the victim. This confusion wounds them at the level of identity damage. Jung called this the collapse of the moral self, a kind of pain that the one enduring it cannot put into words. But then, this very thing wakes them up, because no one can live forever inside a story where they are made the villain. And when they awaken, they see the third truth deeper and more painful, that sometimes they are not losing to another man. They are losing to an illusion she created for herself. There is a strange paradox of this era, the fragility of the human heart under the fragile glow of social media. Not the presence of another man, not the novelty of a relationship that hasn't even begun. What can make some women waver is something so small it seems harmless. A like, a follow notification. A message from a name that carries weight in their imagination. Just that, a tiny dot of light on the screen, is enough for them to believe they were just chosen, that life is opening a special door meant only for them. A famous person notices them for 3 seconds, and suddenly the man who has stood by them for years becomes too ordinary. Not because he isn't good enough, but because they're comparing a real human being to a perfect illusion they constructed in their mind. I once heard a story that broke many people's hearts. A woman left the man she was about to marry just because an athlete with a blue check followed her on Instagram. In her mind, that was destiny's signal. a sign from the universe, an invitation into a brighter life. But when they finally met in real life, that illusion vanished like bubbles. There was no choice. No future, no love. Just a shallow moment for which she traded away a genuine relationship. Perhaps the most painful part for that man was not the betrayal, but realizing he was defeated by something that wasn't even real. And that is what many men are seeing today. Temporary attention from strangers is sometimes valued more than lasting love from the person beside them. The illusions, illusory value, illusory validation, illusory expectations have become the most formidable rivals of real love. Not because women intend to hurt anyone, but because they have confused attention with affection, opportunity with delusion, light with artificial glow. In a world where dopamine is cheaper than real intimacy, many hearts are easily drawn to the noise outside and forget the one quietly offering them inner stability. And men, in silence, realize something very profound. Sometimes they are not discarded for lacking value, but because the woman they love is carried away by a light that does not belong to her. There are relationships in which men are not only loving, they are trying to save someone from her own unhappiness. And the more he tries, the more she feels it is not enough. The harder he works, the more reason she finds to say he is the cause of her misery. Some women enter love with a huge emptiness inside. That emptiness was not created by him. Yet it becomes something he is forced to fill every single day. She is sad. It's because he doesn't care. She is anxious. It's because he doesn't love enough. She is dissatisfied. It's because he is not trying hard enough. She feels empty. It's because he doesn't make her life colorful. No matter what he does, the structure itself is wrong. When he's close, she says he's suffocating. When he gives her space, she says he's distant. When he expresses love, she says he's too sensitive. When he is quiet, she asks why he doesn't love her anymore. And then one day, in a rare moment of clarity, he realizes he is walking around a black hole. A hole not created by him, but by the wounds she has never faced. That black hole consumes every bit of his energy, his gentleness, his patience, his tolerance, and even the tears he never dares to let her see. People often say, men don't know how to love enough. But the truth is, some men have loved to the point they lose themselves in the journey of trying to heal someone who does not want to heal herself. Many women do not realize this. They don't need love, they need chaos, because chaos makes them feel alive. But peace forces them to confront themselves. And when he gives them that peace, they call it boring. When he gives them stability, they call it lack of emotion. When he does everything right, they say he is not man enough. The truth is very simple. He is being turned into a mirror for her to throw her pain at, because looking at herself is much harder. Men gradually realize it is not that they are not good enough, not that they are not trying, but that some people only feel at peace when the heart of the person beside them becomes exhausted. There are relationships in which truth no longer holds the central role, not because someone intentionally deceives, but because the truth is more inconvenient than the story they want to believe. Some women refuse to acknowledge their own wrongdoing, not because they're too arrogant, but because admitting it would mean facing the shattered pieces inside. And so they choose to rewrite reality. The sad part is men often become the villain in that rewritten story. He speaks gently, yet is seen as threatening. He stays calm, yet is accused of not knowing how to love. He is verbally attacked, yet ends up apologizing for making her lose control. The role reversal happens so quickly that many men begin to question whether they truly are the ones at fault, not because they believe it, but because they are used to placing someone else's feelings above their own logic. Gaslighting does not come from the loud statements. It comes from whispers. You remembered it wrong. No, that didn't happen like that. I reacted because of you. You made me be this way. You make me feel unsafe. And when heard long enough, even the strongest man begins to waver in his belief in himself. There is a haunting image in this era. Voice recordings sealed inside men's phones, the evidence they must keep to protect themselves from distorted stories. In those recordings, he is always the one speaking calmly. He's always the one inviting her to sit down. He's always the one saying, "Let's take it slow." And she yelling, breaking things, insulting him, then later going online saying he was aggressive. In that moment, men understand something profound. The truth is no longer strong enough to stand alone. It needs protection. Not everyone manipulates intentionally. In many cases, it is simply the ego trying to survive. We are all afraid of facing the ugly parts of ourselves. And some people cope with that fear by twisting reality until they feel better inside their own narrative. But men, those accustomed to silence and giving way, become the victims of a battle between two versions of truth. The version that actually happened and the version told with emotion. When those two collide, the one who loses is always the quieter person, the one who does not tell stories, the one who does not cry into the camera, the one who does not weaponize emotional language to turn truth into a favorable narrative. All he knows how to do is standing there, holding his truth and protecting it quietly. There is a strange trend spreading in this era. Things once seen as signs of deep hurt are now wrapped in glitter and given a beautiful name, empowerment. But real empowerment never makes a person lose themselves. What many people chase today is a distorted version of freedom. Some say they open an OnlyFans to liberate themselves. Some say they have multiple relationships at once because they don't want to be tied down. Some say they abandon responsibility because they want to live true to their feelings. But beneath those shiny slogans, if we look closely, we will see something else. Fear. Fear of not being noticed. Fear of not being attractive enough. Fear of being abandoned. Fear of facing the emptiness inside. When fear is not healed, people seek stimulation to fill it. Bold photos, fleeting adventure, loose connections, illusory praise. All of it soothes the fear in the moment, yet enlarges it when the screen goes dark. The more attention they receive, the emptier they feel. The more they try to prove they are free, the more they are chained by the validation of others. True freedom never needs an audience. True healing never needs affirmation. True value never resides on a social media platform. Meanwhile, men watch not with judgment, but with deep sadness, because they know that part of this so-called liberation is being built at the cost of the very things that make love last: respect, privacy, true intimacy. And then, when a relationship falls apart, when a heart can no longer connect deeply, when trust disappears in a blink, people begin to wonder, why does no one love me sincerely? Why do good men disappear? Why has love become so hard? Many men do not say it, but they see it clearly. What is being celebrated is not freedom, but the escape from emotional responsibility. They do not turn away out of disdain. They simply step back when they realize some people are calling it freedom, while in reality pushing themselves further away from real love. And men, no matter how strong, cannot build a relationship with someone who is trying to run away from themselves. There are truths that do not hurt because of what they are, but because of how they are hidden. When men talk about body count, most of them do not care about the number. What they truly fear is the feeling that they believed something that was not real. A woman's past does not define her worth. Everyone has a clumsy youth, wrong choices, moments of searching for themselves. But what makes a man step back is the moment he realizes the story she told does not match the truth. Because in love, nothing is more sacred than honesty. I once heard a story like this. A man believed his future wife had only been with 3 people before him. He did not mind. He only wanted that past to be true. 2 years later, at a party, a drunk friend accidentally told stories about her wild phase with a number close to 50. In that moment, what shattered was not love, but the belief that she had been honest with him. Trust does not make a sound when it falls, but it creates a loud echo inside the human heart. What hurts men most is not the number, but realizing he gave his heart to a version of her that did not exist. A small lie can create a massive crack, and that crack does not run from his heart, but from hers, from the place where he once believed their future could be built. When the truth comes out, it is not her past that makes him leave. It is that their future no longer has a foundation to stand on. Trust is like the deep soil beneath our feet. When it is hollowed out, everything above becomes unstable, and men, no matter how hard they try, cannot build a home on ground that is not honest. There is a truth men almost never say out loud. Their pain is easily overlooked. A woman cries, and the world asks, "Are you okay?" A man goes silent, and the world says, "You're strong, you'll be fine." A woman grows tired, and people say, "Rest. You've been through so much." A man collapses from exhaustion, and people say, "You're a man, push through." And then the years pass. Their pain becomes treated as default, their silence mistaken for indifference, their effort dismissed as obligation. I once heard a story of a man in pain so severe he nearly fainted from kidney stones. One of the worst pains a human can endure. He just wanted to be taken to the hospital. But his wife looked at him with irritation and said, "Stop exaggerating. Why is a man so weak?" He had to call a service car, got in alone, endured the pain alone, and signed the divorce papers from his hospital bed. Not because of the physical pain, but because he realized something. His pain had never been believed. Society is used to seeing men as walls, standing firm, not cracking, not trembling, not breaking. But people forget that walls can rot from the inside. Men do not cry because they feel no pain. They are silent not because they feel nothing. They endure not because they are unhurt. They simply know that when they speak, very few truly listen. Sometimes the reactions hurt more than the wound itself, the laughter, the mockery, the phrase, "Men are like that." A man once shared that his ex-wife cheated and took everything after the divorce. A female talk show host joked, "Maybe you just weren't good enough." The audience laughed. No one asked if he was okay. That feeling is not humiliation. It is erasure. Men gradually learn to withdraw. They pull their emotions back like a hand recoiling from fire. They understand that their vulnerability has no place in this world, and so they hide it so deep, so carefully, that even they can no longer find it. But the truth is, men also need to be believed, to be listened to be touched with kindness. No one, no matter how strong, deserves to have their pain treated as insignificant. There is a type of wound many men carry in their hearts, yet rarely speak of. The feeling of being turned into a resource rather than a human being to love. In some relationships, love no longer begins with connection, but with the silent calculation, "What can you provide for me?" Not tenderness, not comfort, not companionship, but numbers. Rent, gifts, trips, bills that he must put his name on. And the most painful part is not the spending. Men naturally have an instinct to protect. They are not afraid to give. What makes their chest tighten is the feeling that their worth is measured by how much they pay. Some women openly say men must pay for everything, not because they are building a relationship, but because that's what men are supposed to do. There are courses teaching women how to maximize benefits, how to read a man's wallet, how to maintain a lineup of men ready to spend money in exchange for scraps of attention. They call it strategy. But to men, it is a form of invisible suffocation when their heart is treated like a commodity. I once heard a girl boast that she had 3 different men covering 3 different bills. One for rent, one for her car, one for her phone. None of them was her boyfriend. None were respected. They were simply her support list. Like financial pillars holding up a lifestyle she did not create for herself. Many men never say it, but they feel deeply that they are being treated as a means. Not a shoulder, not a heart, not a partner, just a human-shaped credit card. And strangely, when they stop, when they set boundaries, when they are no longer willing to pay for everything, they are given harsh labels. Stingy, not man enough, doesn't know how to take care of his girlfriend. Few ever ask, during all that time, who took care of him, the gifts he gave. Were they ever met with genuine gratitude? The money he spent, was it ever recognized as a sacrifice? The meals he paid for, were they ever seen as acts of love rather than obligations? Men do not fear paying a price. They fear that no matter how much they give in the other person's eyes, they will always be not enough. When love becomes negotiation, intimacy becomes strategy, and kindness becomes a resource to extract, the heart of a man begins to close. Not because he is cold, but because he does not want to become something to be consumed.